Hey guys, what's happening? So this is a black-faced Sweet, the prettiest Sweet they ever made, in my opinion. This is the same exact amp as the long body Sweet. We all know that. It just is what it is. These were never made with Toshibas. Never have they ever been made with Toshibas. So somewhere along the line, somebody put 8 Toshibas in this thing. I haven't looked. They are all the same lot. So this thing's here just for a little bit of a buff polish. That's it. Hook it up, check it out, make sure everything's good to go with it, and then they want to do a power wire upgrade on it. So that's it. Not a whole lot of flash bang on this one. We'll grab some coaxial connections here, and we'll get stuff plugged in, and let's see, antenna. I'll plug the dummy load into the antennae. Okay, let's start here. So 1,000 watt slug in peak, 1,000 in average, 5 watt slug in reverse back from the bird, 10,000 watt dummy load. We're down on 12 volts. And we're gonna run this with the 955. Make sure the amp's off. Let's go over here. Zoom back in over here. Hello, 1, 2. All right. Little to no drive. Let's turn the power on. And let's run this real quick. Hello, 700 watts. So 700 watts with about 10-15 watts going in. Let's make sure everything is working as it should. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2. All transistors are lighting up, the combiners are nice and cool. Everything's working the way it should. Let's see, how do I have the mode of operation set up on this one? It is in class AB. We'll go to C. Hello. Shows less power on class C. That doesn't make any sense, but okay. So here's the class C numbers, same drive level. Hello. That's class C, class AB, or class B actually. Hello. 100 more watts on class AB. Okay, so preamp is working. Now what's odd is this has got a green LED behind it. A little green LED right here instead of an incandescent bulb, which is kind of cool. A little different. Preamp is working. Let's make sure that that is. Hello. Yes, sir. Hello. 1, 2. So the attenuator is definitely active on this one. Okay. Well, it's real simple. Let's go really quick. It's going to go really quick. Take Anderson clip off. Disconnect these old junky power wires. I'm going to put bigger brand new wire on here. I'm going to clean the dog hair out of the fan, or cat hair, or whatever that is. Get this all cleaned up, and we'll get these power wires changed up. We'll give it a little bit of an upgrade, and we'll see how it turns out. So before I start, I wanted to cover this real quick. We're just going to look at board condition. The 2 forward boards versus the rear boards. Now we know the fan sits right over this space. And I think a little bit of schmutz or something, moisture or something at some point got down in here because there's a little bit of corrosion, a little bit of dirt, a little bit of schmutz. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this thing a bath. I'm going to wash it in alcohol and get it all cleaned up. Get this corrosion off, and then we'll seal it once we get all the power wires and stuff in here. And then I want to go back and I want to resolder in all the transistors because they're in there, just not very well, I guess would be the best way to put it. So just want to show this and let everybody know, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and rework a couple things in here. And then we'll pull out the nubs of the leftover power wires and put some grommets and some stuff in here. So, okay, away we go. Oh, here we are. A few hours later, you guys, this is how I spent my afternoon. I got all the wire run all the way through. You'll see here in a minute. I wanted to show you the fan, why I was insistent that we clean this out. I swear there was an animal that somehow is associated with this. We're going to try and clean this up as best we can, but the box was breathing through this. I swear it's like little mouse droppings or something, I don't know. Run the vac over that, we'll pour some alcohol over it, we'll wash it all up. We'll see how well the fan cleans up, but we've seen way worse, cleaned way worse, so just wanted to show you the lovely fur ball it was. And then blink, it'll be perfectly clean. All right. Well, we got the fan all cleaned out. We did our power wire upgrades here. And this amp is actually going to a really big fan of mine. I mean, this guy's bought coats and jackets and hats and just very actively positive supporter of me. And I'm just basically giving this a run through to make sure everything's right. So I really took my time and I ran the power wires every single one of these I managed to do them differently. The last time I did it, I did the power distribution over here in the corner, like right about here. And I didn't like how close it was to the case screw, but it worked out okay. Disassembled quite a bit of stuff to sneak, like I took a whole bunch of stuff apart here in the back to run the power wires down and around and over. I want everything to be perfect on this. That's why we took the time to reflow all the solder joints, and we're taking the time, we washed it really good. Oh, the schmoo that came out of this thing. Oof. It's clean now. We washed the grill and got it all sterilized and cleaned up. I don't know what was in there. Most of this came off with the vacuum cleaner, and then we went in and we washed it with regular soap and water and came and blew it out with a high pressure hose, and then we went ahead and sterilized it with alcohol. Got the fan all cleaned up. It looks like new. So the only thing we got left to do now is to I don't know what that was. My eye just caught it and I had to pick it up off the board. The only thing we got left to do now is to run and test it. Part of the circuitry in here, the thermal disconnect switch, for some reason they think this is a good idea to put this here. The way this works is the keying circuit that drives this passes through this thermal switch, this thermally activated switch, and if this flyback gets too hot for whatever reason, it shuts the box off. This was just hanging out in free space, so we went ahead and re-zip tied it back up to the flyback, even though in my opinion it would probably be better suited if we attached it to the board somehow, but this is the way they run it. So 4-gauge power wire, went ahead and made some metal tab relief for here in the back. Had to trim this one down to make it fit, but it turned out nice and smooth and clean. Coarse grommets on everything, of course. But yeah, let's hook this up and let's run this real quick. Well, it didn't blow up as soon as I plug it in. That's always a good sign, right? So we got everything set up just the way we had it when we first initially did our test this morning. That's a 1,000-watt slug and peak, 1,000 in average, a 5-watt slug and reverse back from the Bird 10,000-watt dumb and load. Oh yeah, we're moving good clean air now. It can breathe. The screen isn't plugged up no more. Yeah, let's throw this in here. Shut all this off. Shut it all down. Let's zip over here. We're currently in Class B. That would be Class C this direction. Sorry. We're currently in Class B, or AB as they have it labeled, but it's actually Class B. And that's in Class C, so we're going to start out in Class B. Remember, we were making about 700 watts on 12 volts. So, let's see. Zoom in. Audio, hello. Same amount of drive. Let's go ahead and fire up the amp. Hello, audio. Where's that Class C? Hello, audio. Okay. It's in Class C. Here's Class C. Hello. Just a hair more power, about 625 watts. And hello. Hello. About a needle's width over 700. So we did see a little bit of improvement. Hold on a second. Okay. So, a little bit of power improvement. Not a lot. That little bit means a lot, believe it or not. And the box is going to run cooler. Really? Honking horn? I got the door of the shop hanging wide open and my neighbor's out there deciding to let his little kid play with the remote control for his truck. Rest assured, I don't see anything in here that is showing me that you have any kind of transistors that are bad. In the note that was attached with this, he said he thought he had a transistor that was shorted, and he's turning me loose on this box. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing all the transistors run at the same rate, pull roughly the same amount of current, get to the same temperature, and I'm not seeing any imbalance show up in any of the output circuitry. Not the final combiner here, not the one over there, and not the total final combiner at the relay. I take that picture, I'm going to show you that the wire on the final combiner is producing more heat than what the resistors are that are going through it. If there's any kind of imbalance, you had a transistor that was dragging in any way, my man, I'm telling you, it would show up here in this resistor. So I feel fairly comfortable now to reach down here. And let's turn our voltage up a little bit. Let's wait for a few minutes. Remember, my bench is run off of a big bank of supercapacitors and 12 volt lead acid batteries, right? Supplemented by a 1000 amp power supply. So we're at 15.1. We've achieved 15 volts over here. So now we've seen a 3 volt increase in current potential, or 3 volt increase in voltage. No more current potential difference, just better voltage. Now we're off this chart. And remember, that's only with 25-ish watts drive, so we're off the scale. We're doing exactly what we should. About 1200 watts peak. Looking at this scale, remember, that hash mark between the 20 and the 30, or between the 40 and the 60, is 1200 watts. This is 1000 watts here. Every major hash mark after that is an additional 200 watts worth of power. We're doing exactly what we should. Let's go to Class C operation. So everything's running in balance and running the way it should. Now it's neat, I had somebody ask me the other day what the difference is between Class C and Class B operation as far as power output and the amplifier's amperage consumption. That was a tongue twister for me for some reason. And I said to actually properly switch the thing between different modes of operation, it would require a couple relays because you have to treat each individual 2-pill section as its own separate universe. Well, that's all pre-wired into this amplifier. So to answer the question, now we're going to look over here at the amp gauge versus the amount of power that's being produced. About 105 amps. Now we're going to go to Class AB or Class B. 134 amps worth of current. So we've seen almost a full third or full fourth more current draw by changing the class of operation. Yes, we see a small amount of power output increase, but more current, vastly more current. We're looking at 90 amps, 98 amps in Class C operation. In Class B, we're looking at 140 amps worth of consumption. That's a huge potential difference. So let's say somebody's got themselves like a little 100 amp power supply, and they're trying to run the 4-pill on a 100 amp power supply. Technically that's enough if it's in Class C, but if it's in Class B or has bias in it for sideband, and no, B does not stand for bias, I'm expressing to you a mode of operation, that 100 amp power supply is now not enough. We're looking at 150 amp supply the guy's got to have. Audio. Just by flipping the switch, we just pulled 50 amps worth of current out of the amplifier. Okay, so we've changed radios. We're now on the derail striker 955, and I've got the peak power dialed all the way, or the average power dialed all the way down, the peak power all the way up. So let's go look at this thing and show you what we're going to put into it for drive. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Hello, about 100 watts. We'll put 100 watts into this over the 25 or 30 that we were putting in it before. Let's go back to 2X. Hello, audio. Now we're getting our full 1600 out of this amplifier. Let's go back to Class C. Hello, audio. So we're only seeing about maybe 200 watts less by going from Class C to Class B. But in the same breath, we're consuming far less current. Now, the numbers aren't going to jive very well between demonstration A and demonstration B, because remember, this has a variable bird adjustable ability to it. So we'll start out in Class B. Hello. Now we're only seeing 90 amps worth of draw here, but we're seeing 400 more watts on the output side, 12 to 1600 watts worth of difference. So let's go to Class C real quick. Hello, audio. Now, this will blow your mind. I'm going to reach up here. I'm going to turn a variable bird knob up on the striker radio, the derail striker radio. We are in Class C still. Hello. It just made it pull 30 more amps. The average number went way up, but our peak number stayed the same. Hello, audio. So now let's go to Class B. Hello, 142 amps. Turn the variable bird all the way back down again. Hello. See the difference? Where do we want the bird meter to read? The peak number stays the same, always. That's universally stays the same. The average number, hello. Isn't that an interesting phenomenon? I can literally turn the dial a watt and turn the average power up and down. And you can see it correlating. You know the amplifier is working harder, it's consuming more current to do the same job. Peak number stays the same. It's mind-blowing, isn't it? Well, with all this keying up and transmitting and making this thing make noise and heat and all kinds of other stuff, let's see where we're at for temperatures here. Currently I'm at 81 degrees. The hottest thing in here, of course, is going to be our sandstone resistors for our bias circuit. Our output combiner is still at 83 degrees. The amplifier's base temperature is 84. The transistor temperatures are 85. And the overall average temperature of the box is about 80 degrees. So let me throw that picture in there for you guys to look at. Now, the $6 million question. I consider myself to be done at this point. I've checked this out thoroughly, the input and output. Oh, I haven't shown that on video yet. Got to show it on video. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1600 watts of potential out. Let's go up here. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Hello. The front of the striker says hello, 1, 2, 1 bar. Everything as happy as could be. Input tune on this box is perfect, by the way. So, the moral of the story is, no pop transistors, just needed a power wire upgrade and a little bit of a clean. And now that we've got it all cleaned up, and everything's thoroughly tested, I'm going to come through and put the oh so slightest layer of clear over this area of the amplifier. Because as we know, shmoo can come in from the fan. And then I get to see if I'm an origami master and really as good as I think I am. And I spaced everything properly, and I can get the relay that's on this board over here to sit in this little pocket of space right here and not have anything else make contact with our power distribution rib. Wish me luck. Hello, 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 hello. Volt reading works. Hello, hello. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. Everything works. It's the way it should. Hello, audio. Perfect. Well, Mr. J, you're all done. I'll button this thing back up and put the rest of the screws in it and take it inside, and we'll start the process on getting it sent home. We did take the fan completely out. I washed and cleaned it. It looks like brand new. The guard looks like new. All the dust and dirt's been removed. I think that you're in top shape. I think we're done. Brother, I appreciate you sending this thing up as always. I appreciate everything that everybody sends up here for me to work on. I know it takes forever for me to get to anything. I appreciate that greatly. I'm empathetic to it. I understand. Look, my goal was to do 4 amps today. I got 1 done. It's just the way this works. You have the desire to get more done than you have the ability to actually get things taken care of. All I can do is keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. I think the next up on things to get fixed is either a Dave Made or a Texas Star. I got to call those guys next. So, Mr. J, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. On to the next one. Gentlemen, big shout out to MechMan, big shout out to Siglant, big shout out to Excess Power, Bird, and Coaxial Dynamics. And as always, I say thank you, gentlemen, for tuning in and watching, and I thank everybody for their continued support. I am BBI. I gotta go. I'll see ya. Bye.